Welcome in to tonight's MPW Digital Postgame show presented by Realtree. I'm Chase Parham, and Ole Miss is headed to the Sugar Bowl, third time since 2016. Oregon State in 2016, the 2015 season. Baylor a few years ago, 2021, leading into 2022, and now Georgia in a CFP quarterfinal. Ole Miss earning that right after a blowout win over Tulane here this afternoon at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, 41-10. The Rebels over the Green Wave. It looked much like it did during the regular season, a 45-10 win with Lane Kiffin then. Instead, this is Pete Golding's first game as head coach and quite the successful one in what was a party atmosphere. Jeffrey talked about that a good bit on Thursday of expecting a party, and it absolutely was here today with Ole Miss. Again, we're going to do a lot of it. Jeffrey's going to join me here in a bit. We are back where it all began a little bit. We're hanging out at Jeffrey's place here this evening. It's where we did the podcast, did Oxford Exxon podcast for a while. I wanted to stay a little longer at the game today. I did not leave. Normally I leave at halftime. I didn't leave till kind of the start of the fourth quarter, somewhere in there. Wanted to see sort of the drone show. Want to take in more of the atmosphere to be able to talk about it with you guys as well. I'm still expecting Siski, but I know he was hanging out. He wanted to talk to John Sumrall. John, his dad George passed away on Thursday. So thoughts with him as now he's headed to Gainesville after the last day as the Tulane head coach here in this loss in the first round of the college football playoffs. But we get a little deeper into it. Tell you about Realtree. They've been with us all year long last year. They'll be with us moving forward. Great people, Bill and Tyler and everybody with Realtree. That's Realtree.com. It's where you go for the best in camo, hunting gear, lifestyle gear. Let them take care of you. Again, that's Realtree.com. They do a ton for Ole Miss. They'll do a ton for you as well. Again, so Realtree.com. We'll give something away later in the show. I don't think it's a helmet today, but we'll give something away. So be on the lookout for that. So expect Neil to join us. It's going to be a little different, I think, on timing. Another reason why I didn't start right away is the college football playoff is the college football playoff handles the press conferences. So because of that, they were doing one at a time. It could be a little bit of a longer post game. So I was killing a little time with that. Also, here as we get started, we got James Madison and Oregon up on the screen. 6-3 Ducks right now over James Madison. Also worth noting that this is probably a show best watched versus listened to. So if you're catching it tomorrow, podcast form, always going to be in podcast form. But at the same time, probably one better to watch. We're just kind of having a party. We're hanging out. There's probably going to be a little bit of background noise. But you can hang out with us, watch the games. We've got 29-10 Eagles over Commanders here as that one is getting close to wrapping up. So big day for Ole Miss, big day for us as well. And remember, you got the Venmo thing up on the screen, not asking for anything, just simply if you want to do the Super Chat without giving a lot to the man, you can do the Venmo instead. Add all caps Venmo in the chat. Let me see it. And then remind me if I don't catch it. The post-game show, it gets to moving. It moves a little fast in the stream there, so I'd appreciate that as we get going. And yes, Neil will probably tell you later, we do have the Coors Banquet here. Appreciate them taking care of us. Maybe you're popping those as well. Wherever you are, probably headed back to the Grove, headed maybe in the car, headed home. I know a lot of people are kind of doing the up and back here for the game today. Yesterday was pretty crazy, though. Neil and I were both at Funky's a little bit yesterday afternoon, and it was one in, one out doing the cover there yesterday. So it still was pretty busy, even though it wasn't at 3 p.m. there, one in, one out. Yeah. So anyway. Ton of people. Siski will have the Diet Millers. We're not doing that, but the same people, all owned by the same company. But a celebration really today for Ole Miss as we're getting into it. We'll talk about Georgia. We're going to do that. One quick note on that as well. We are going to do a show tomorrow. We're going to take some days off around Christmas, obviously. But Neil and I will go live from the Clarkport studio. I'm assuming about 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, something like that. So just be aware of that. We'll start setting up everything that we don't hit tonight, or probably talk about that a little bit as well tomorrow there with Ole Miss and Georgia. January 1st, looks like I made those reservations. Those are going to be needed. We'll get into that a little bit tomorrow as well. But yeah, just a few comments, I guess, on environment, on what things look like as we're getting started here today and waiting on people to join me. It was a football version in a way, and I get it wasn't a championship, but it was a home playoff game. It was the biggest win in the modern era. It was really was. It was a party. It was a celebration. It was a thorough ass kicking. A game that was never in doubt at all for Ole Miss against Tulane today. And I've mentioned this a lot of times that my favorite memory from Ole Miss's win in the College World Series was getting down to the field after they had won it. And you look around and you see the families hugging each other, and you see all the emotion coming out, and all those things that are going on with it. And today was kind of like that a little bit. Just a few minutes ago, before we got started, Jeffrey's dad, Jeff, walked in and talked about being emotional from the game, and people who have watched so many Ole Miss seasons that were losing seasons or even considered winning seasons for a long time, and to get this environment where you're on the national stage, the game really never in doubt, and you showed your absolute best in so many capacities. It was a great game day. It was a perfect game day for Ole Miss. You got lucky with the weather. You got a fantastic Chamber of Commerce afternoon from a weather standpoint, and you got to give so much credit to game ops, to the people that the marketing department, the people in the foundation that pay for it, all the different parts of this, because it's I wrote about it in my new feature that comes out on it came out on Friday this week. We're gonna move it somewhere else next week. But the Around the Horn is we're doing a legend every week, and we're a little loose with legend, but it's you know the game ops, the marketing, what Ole Miss presented to its fans and to kind of college football at large today was special. You had the drone show, you had the light show. They set the Guinness World Record with the most Santa hats ever at in one place. The previous record was an LA Angels game from 2014, and I think they doubled that. I think the record was 33,000, something like that. Now 68,000 here today with the Santa hats. It was just sort of perfect in every way of what they had to offer. I know the foundation did a huge donor event last night. They did an awesome job with that. So it was a full, awesome weekend of Ole Miss football, and now you get to try to avenge your one loss in the season. Ole Miss 12-2, 12 wins for the first time in program history, and you face the Georgia Bulldogs, a traditional rival in New Orleans again. Sugar Bowl, January 1st at 7 o'clock for that. I am going to send the link to Rookie in a minute. I have not heard from him today. We'll check in on that and see what's going on. But so much to get to, and it is. I think it's something you guys deserve to celebrate, and you did it in a game where I didn't think decision making or anything looked that much different under Pete Golding today. One of Neil's stories that he wrote, and he's got multiple content items already up at Rebels 24/7, but he was writing about Pete finding some raw before the game and sort of Pete's just sort of actions on the field before the game got started. And I thought from a game management standpoint, he was very good today. He took the points early on. They hit a 42-yard field goal early in the game when they were trying to get back to a two possession or a two touchdown lead at that point. And then later on, did go for it on fourth down around midfield, converted that as well. So both those decisions paid off in positive ways there for Ole Miss and for Golding. But yeah, I thought it looked very similar. I didn't think there was much change there at all. One Tyler Siskey now joining me on the show. Siskey, how are you?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Oh, we're hanging out, just having a little bit of a have a little party, a little get together. Did you stay the whole game? What'd you do?
I did. Yeah, we stayed the whole game. Um, it was good, man. It was a great atmosphere. It's probably one of maybe the best I've seen in that stadium.
Yeah, I was just talking about that a second ago. I was sort of waxing poetic a little bit of game environment, game ops, it being a celebration, a party, a game that was never in doubt from a score or a win loss standpoint at all, and in some ways, kind of the perfect capping of a home season. 9-0 at home for Ole Miss this year. I think they're 22-1 now in their last 23 at home. If I've got something like that on the stat, I'm pretty sure that's right. Um, I guess elaborate on that a little bit. What was it that sort of impressed you to that level today?
I saw there was a lot of energy. There was a little lull there in the second quarter, but for they got back up. But I thought you know I don't know who's in charge of it. You probably do, but the game day operations and from the lit wristbands to the drone show to the flyover to the every timeout they seem to do something every timeout or every break, and I just thought that there was a lot of juice in there, singing the songs and all that stuff. I just thought it was a lot of juice. So
Yeah,
it was
they,
good.
they went to the Eli well pretty early, Patrick Willis pretty early. They honored Wesley Walls, all the guys. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I meant in a very positive way. They sort of emptied the clip today. Everything that you could have done and you went to it and sort of. I think in some ways honoring the moment, honoring the day. I mean, it was a college football playoff first round game today. I mean, that did happen. You get to move
Yeah,
on.
no, I thought that they, especially I think there was a lot of pent up aggression too. I think people were ready to cut loose a little bit, have a good time. So yeah, no, I thought it was awesome, almost awesome atmosphere, and I think I mean I only saw like four people leave in my whole even around me. I mean, even to the point we actually left after the game. We stayed for the handshake and everything, and we almost had an empty path out the stadium. Like we almost left in the middle of the game or something. It was pretty impressive.
68,251 the attendance today. That is a program record. It beats a previous record of 68 and change from Florida a few weeks ago. So yeah, no, in every way, fantastic there for Ole Miss and that. No Santa hat, Siski. You didn't put your Santa hat on.
Yeah, if I have a complaint, I do have a complaint.
Oh, you got one complaint. All right, go ahead.
One complaint. Somebody before we got there, and we got there because my son's in the band, so we got there early to see him, see them perform before the game, and we got there almost an hour before kick. Somebody had snatched all the Santa hats. Oh, around, not even just our seats, but around us.
Really?
Yeah, we
We
had
had a
some.
Santa hat, like a napper.
I guess the Grinch showed up, and the Grinch showed up and took Santa hats out of the immediate area.
I
Bad.
hate to. I sorry, I did not mention this earlier. Also, the flyover, which was one of the cooler parts too. You had the
Oh,
Blackhawks come in low and slow. I saw you put the video up. It got to you a little bit, didn't it?
it came right. I mean, you got Trace Atkins. I mean, you got Trace Atkins singing the national anthem. You got the Black Hawk coming over the top. I mean, the only thing I was missing was shotgun of Diet Miller. I've been in business. You know what I mean?
You didn't have any Diet Millers.
Fireworks. We had Apaches. We had Trace Atkins. I mean, I needed a funnel or a shotgun. We were ready to go.
Yeah, I don't know what the budget on everything was today, but I guess they handled it. It was all right.
Whatever they made from the college football playoff, I think went up in fireworks. So yeah, those things
Yeah.
aren't cheap.
Jump into the game a little bit. And I don't mean I don't even want to compare. I'm trying to basically avoid talking about Kiffin today because I'm not in the mood and he's not the story at all. I will say this though. I'm gonna do one thing and then we'll get into my question. It shows you the crazy state that we're in college sports and the craziness around his hiring and it being such a political thing that we have this basically fight between two governors on Twitter, between Tate Reeves, the Mississippi governor, and Jeff Landry, the Louisiana governor, going back and forth with their barbs. And I thought in some ways Reeves scored a point. He goes, "Hey, you do have a team playing tomorrow. You could come see," because he was taking LSU, pro LSU shots at Ole Miss and at Reeves and all this stuff. Landry's response is, "Hey, try to put together a team next year that wasn't put together by the LSU head coach," and that's where he went back to Tate Reeves and all this stuff. Dude completely ignored that he had a team from his state in this game today in the college football playoff. The governor of Louisiana basically just went, no, 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 not even going to mention Tulane. We're just going to tout LSU all single day on Twitter. I don't give a crap, but it shows you just the environment we're in this stupid situation as it's unplaying in real time here.
He's a fan. I mean,
He went to Lafayette.
oh, did he?
Yeah, didn't go
And
to
I think
LSU.
that
Went to
probably
Lafayette.
that state, I will say this, in that state, it really, in that
It's
state,
all LSU or nothing. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's really no different at, Troy or South Alabama or UAB or Jacksonville State. I mean, if you really, you know, they pull for their team that they go to school, but they pick Auburn or Alabama. You know what I mean? Like there's always that it's the same everywhere. But I mean, can I ask you an honest question? Did you really expect anything different? I mean,
I think that's why I'm mentioning it. It was perfect in every sense of exactly what I was expecting. I mean,
I'll
just
tell you what. I'll tell you
perfect.
what. I'm not going to give one of these big contracts to a coach. We're going to do it by incentives. Okay.
And you go big on all of it. You do the contract, the buyout after you talk your shit, the whole deal. It was
I
great.
mean, it's almost like he's a politician. Over promising, under delivering. It's almost
Yeah.
like he's a politician.
You
But
you're gonna see things I'm not gonna see. What you just kind of make, you know, I guess mannerisms, decision making, just peak today. Let's talk through it a little bit. What'd you see?
oh well, I can't. I was away. I couldn't see him.
Yeah, yeah.
But just from the game standpoint, I thought that Ole Miss took advantage early. They really struggled tackling Ole Miss in space, particularly on the back end. And Ole Miss was repetitively, throwing quick game on the perimeter, trying to get those guys in one-on-one situations to make plays. They struggled, covering DeQuan Wright across, just running with him from a safety perspective. They really, the first two drives were those kind of things, right? And then obviously Lacey got loose and got one-on-one with a safety and made a guy miss, and they kind of got off obviously to a hot start. And then they kind of went through a lull a little bit, trying to go through they really kind of struggled running the football for the most part, and then they left it on Trinidad, and they went through that little lull right there in the second quarter. But then as soon as the second half started, went right back to what, and it was pretty quick, obvious what they could. I don't know, man. It was almost like they knew what they had and they tried to do some other things and then just went back to what was working and stayed on it. And I thought defensively, I thought they did just a great job of not allowing Tulane to finish drives. Tulane moved the football. They moved the football, but dude, every time they got to that 30, 45, it's almost like it was in a tight red zone. Where they moved the football. I mean, I think they had 400 something yards or close to it with 10 points and one of them being in garbage time. I think they were 0 for 4 on fourth down. I don't know if you got stats in front of you. I think that's what I have in my head.
Yeah, so it's Ole Miss finished at 497. Tulane finished at 421 total. Ole Miss threw for 346. Tulane threw for 306. Tulane ran for 115. Ole Miss ran for 151. And I've got, I guess, one stat on both those different things. Yeah, as you mentioned, Tulane, they had 155 yards in the first quarter. I mean, they had two really nice, competent drives that just simply didn't end in points. It was the bad throw on the pick and then the turnover on downs there for Tulane. And then Lacey, just one thing to verify what you thought there from the Ole Miss run game. He goes 15 for 87, but he had a 30-yarder and a 20-yarder. So you're talking the other 13 runs only went for 37 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it was just not a lot of room. I mean, in between the tackles, I thought the one he popped for the touchdown at the beginning of the game, it parted like the Red Sea. But the rest of them, because I was in the end zone, so the rest of them though were kind of, but again, I thought Ole Miss knew what they could do, and they kind of put on the receivers to, make plays in space. And I mean, ball didn't hit the ground much tonight. Now, I mean, what 20? I think I saw the stat on the screen. At one time, he was 25 of 31. Is that
Come on, Chambliss.
yes?
He was 23 of 29, and Simmons was 4 for 5. So as a team, they were 27 of 34.
It may have been passing. I saw
Okay.
On the banners. But I think I think he did rinse and repeat. I think he does really good outside the hash. I think he
Mm-hmm.
struggles over the middle unless he's got a clean pocket. The one thing I wish he would clean up a little bit is he's a little late on his timing on quick games on slants and stuff, and he's missed a couple of these in the last few weeks on third downs and things when he's had guys. But I think he's gonna thought he was really solid, man. That's probably about the best way to put it. I thought he was really solid. Um, and Ole Miss could have opened the game up too. Right there when Austin Simmons goes down or gets when he fumbles on the sack. Uh, but they probably could have opened up a little bit right there and um, getting the stop to start the second half and then scoring pretty quick. It was kind of at that point you already knew, but the only way that Tulane was going to make that a game is if they took the ball in the second half and scored and made it whatever it was, cut it to 7 points to start the second half, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, they just didn't have the horses. I mean, bottom line. I think Neil said genetics ended this game earlier in the week. He was talking about that. And there was a lot of truth to that. Ole Miss played a pretty clean game, and I guess we've talked about this some. Maybe you and Neil have talked about this on McCready and Siski a good bit, but been around a lot of teams. What is it, or maybe I'm overplaying it? You tell me that a team has been able to be this consistent with all the crap that has gone on over the last 2 months. I mean, how often does that stuff actually affect them? I guess is my question.
I think this team can handle it a little bit better than most teams, and I think that was. I mean, I don't. I am purposely not being ugly when I say this, but that's you had the way Lane operated allows this team to do this. If he was I think if this is somebody that was really close to their players and
Oh,
had this
yeah.
really just relationship. I mean, that probably. And then the other thing is I think that the mode of today's player, you know what I mean, is like there is some truth to like, hey, they're moving on too. You know what I mean? And there's going to be moving, and they kind of understand that more to where, you know, 5 years ago they were forced to stay and play for the next guy, and that's not necessarily the case anymore. So I think they don't feel as much left behind, if that makes sense, as you would have done 5 years ago.
So you do think the personality just of the average player has changed that much?
Well, yeah, many
Yeah,
ways, but definitely
yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And that's a good point because you've heard that throughout the process that Lane, outside of a couple guys, just wasn't that close to dudes. Their assistant coaches are the ones that they were had emotional connections to, or whatever you want to call it, throughout this season and their careers. I mean, it just like you said, it's the way he operates, it's the way it works.
Yeah, I mean, there's not. That's just what it is. It's not being ugly or anything. It's just what it is. And but he's not the only one. There's many coaches that aren't like players coaches. That's why there's a term called players coach. And, what I mean? It's because some are and some aren't. And um, and some guys are closer to players than others. And then, you know, in any coach's defense, it's so transactional now that the relationship building, it's not really what it used to be. You'd recruit a kid for 2 years, you get him in your program, and you started recruiting these kids when they're 15 or 16 years old, and you recruit them up until and then if you stay long enough, I mean they're 22, 23 years old, and like you see this giant transformation in a human being, and you got these relationships. And if all of a sudden you cut it cold turkey at that point in time, it's a bigger deal than if, hey, I recruited this kid for 15 minutes out of the portal. He showed up. He's been here for six. I've known him for 6 months. I've met his parents twice. I don't know if I've had a phone call with them, but it's just, that's the mode of transactional recruiting.
Can you get any read on kind of just how you think Pete's handled these 3 or 4 weeks? I mean, I know we've been doing. I mean, we get press conferences, and I know you're not in the building, but you talk to people, and you know way more people than I do. I mean, I guess his players first approach, just the way that the whole thing's been handled. How do you sort of break down what that's meant or how he's done?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he's done as good of a job as he can do. You know, the matchup probably helped him out a little bit too. But he's been juggling a lot of balls. No diddy. He's been trying to retain coaches, retain players. Implement in a short period of time. Again, like he said before, he's not going to reinvent the wheel with this team, but he's still probably got some things that he wants to do. That's a little bit different. I may have been mistaken. I didn't see a basketball goal over there today. Was there? Did I? It wasn't one of those, right? So I mean, like, there's things that he's going to probably tinker and change some things, and then I think you'll see a whole nother change. But you know, he's completely the other way, and one of the cool things I think that's allowed him to do this is he's basically been the head coach of defense for how long he's been here. So it's not like, again, and that's how Lane ran his program. You know, the offense is over here, defense over here, and Pete was in control of personnel and everything else over there. And um, you know, so I think a lot of that relationship was there with him. But I think he's done a great job. I'm excited for him to get his opportunity. Um, I think it's about a quarter past time for him to get his opportunity, and I'm glad that he's getting it.
Austin, thanks for the super chat as always. Appreciate you. So stayed 30 minutes post game inside VHS. Didn't even see that with my dad. Easily made today one of the best days I've ever had. Hottie Toddy, Neil Tower, Chase, Jeff, Ryan, Chat. God bless and Merry Christmas. That's what I said. I thought it resembled the Omaha deal with family members hugging and celebrating and getting those moments and really memories. I think memories is the word that you're talking about from this game and this season. And again, 12 wins, almost 12-1, headed to New Orleans to face Georgia again, third Sugar Bowl in 3 years. We'll get into a lot of Georgia as the next 11, 12 days play out. But
Yeah. 24-hour rule, dog. 24-hour rule.
you get 24 hours before you move on to the Bulldogs.
24-hour rule, dog.
So hey,
No,
Neil and I are
no,
doing a show at 3 tomorrow. Can we talk about Georgia then, or are we still stuck? Is that can
if
I
I
do
were
it then?
if I were you,
Uh huh.
if I were you, I wouldn't talk Georgia until after Christmas.
Oh, you wait till game week. We got
Oh
got
yeah,
got, got a little bit.
yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't. I mean, because then you got to start talking about Sage Ryan versus Lucky, and then you're like, oh, I can already see. I can already see Mike Bobo 12 personnel, ace, flex, flip, match them up.
You gonna go?
No, no, I'll be
No.
out of town. Going to
Are
hang
you out
out
of
with the
town?
fam. Yeah, going to hang out with the fam.
Uh,
I'm going to be not in New Orleans.
mentioned obviously John's had a really rough week, rough few days here. He's been juggling all those things too. I assume that you probably have spoken to him. Just kind of how was he handling today?
Um, yeah, I don't want to bring.
Yeah.
I
Keep
think
keep. I mean,
it's
not to go too deep. Obviously, yeah.
yeah,
I
no,
understand.
it's John's a good friend of mine. He is an awesome human being. Uh, Truly genuine. What you see is what you get. Um, and I had randomly, not randomly, but I texted him yesterday morning. I guess yesterday morning, and just to wish him good luck because I know he's getting practicing, getting on plane and coming or whatever, and wished him luck or whatever. And he called me, and I thought it was odd because it was day before a game, and coaches usually don't talk, and he let me know his father had passed, and it's just tough, man. I mean, he's got a lot going on, and but his mom got everything handled yesterday morning, and she wasn't gonna miss the game, and his parents, even when I worked with him, his parents were kind of like my parents. They really don't miss a whole lot, and so it was pretty neat. Um, like we'd go to Texas A&M or wherever it was we were playing, Missouri or whatever we were on the road, and John's mom and dad would come up. Well, my mom and dad would come up, and they're both from Alabama. They're both about the same age, and so Friday when you're meeting and doing the football thing, they would go eat dinner or whatever together. So my mom and dad got to know them, and it's just sad, and we're getting that age. You know what I mean? So it's tough. He's got a lot going on. It puts things in perspective, is what it does. And obviously then around the holidays and things like that. So I know it's tough time. So everybody, keep John and his family in your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, just horrible news there. Well said. Great job trying to explain those emotions because it is it's tough. So thoughts with John. He's been doing two jobs here the last few weeks. It's been quite the deal for him before he heads to Gainesville. I assume tomorrow without knowing anymore. I don't know severity, but I need to not wait too long to mention this. Kewan Lacey, Pete said he had a bruised shoulder. Is how he is listed him right now. Again, I'm repeating. I am quoting.
Hey,
Uh,
he got that from
yeah,
coach. Good for him.
what bruised shoulder? Is that a?
Just a little contusion. Just a little contusion.
So what did you see then, Cisco? Yeah. Okay. I mean,
In my face.
he's chewing over there. It's all right. We're all good.
I'm starving. I imagine you'll see one of those black arm like these little shoulder cuffs, and he'll get a little little black shoulder cuff and some Toradol. He won't feel shit. He'll be all right.
So he's not in danger of not playing for sure.
Not if he don't want to.
Yeah. Well, that's the world we're in, Siski. That is the world we're in.
That's
That is
why
everybody.
I said it. Why I said it. Yeah, I mean, but I mean it's not. I mean it happens to that position. I mean,
Does
you
it have
probably
effect? I mean, if you got it all wrapped up, I mean, what's the effect?
there will be zero.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean for that position. I mean, he may feel it a little bit in the third. Well, it depends on how much old Doc goes and sees him at halftime. If Doc goes and hangs out with him at halftime, he'll be good the whole game. So go out to pregame, come in, go see Doc, say, "Hey Doc, how you doing? Good to see you. Just want to check and see how your New Year's was going." And then you go and play the first half, and then at halftime you go back, "Doc, how you doing? How was your family? Everybody good? As long as the Doc's good and everybody's happy, and you'll play with no pain."
You mentioned so TV said he declined the shoulder cup at the half. Um,
Hmm.
Flippin said,
We don't put shoulder cuffs on for bruises, Chase.
okay.
It's not for bruises.
So you're saying 2 and 2 is not adding up to 4 right now? Just saying. That's not where we are.
I saw how he was holding it. I mean, it's very common for. It's not. I mean, I say
Mm.
it's very common. I mean, I would say at this point in the year, a lot of this point in the year. I apologize. I got a new phone. I don't even know how to put it on silent. Um, at this time of the year, it's very commonplace for you probably have about one out of every three or four running backs have it on.
What are you eating? Dip, chips. What are you
Man,
doing?
I'm eating a ham and cheese sandwich.
Oh, you
Hey,
went
the wife
basic,
fixed
but bacon, basic and old school right now, but it works.
the wife fixed it for me. I'm not complaining.
No.
The
I get it.
most she's cooked for me in the last 6 months.
Well, see, you're being nice to that sentence. Now we got almost through it. Like you did the very end, and then
She's not
here you
listening.
go.
She's not listening, but somebody will snitch on me. I know.
I would like to thank the Sugar Bowl. Neil's worry it was not a problem. I just got a confirmation for my hotel room in New Orleans. Neil was worried that I insulted the Sugar Bowl and was going to have a problem getting in my room, but we're good. So congratulations to us.
Let's go.
All good there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You got to go to the
Yeah.
Bon. Is the Bonton still open?
I think so. Somebody just mentioned it. Yeah, somebody's mentioned it in the stream a minute ago.
That's the best restaurant I've eaten at in New Orleans ever.
Is it really?
Love it.
You mentioned the Saban reference. I thought one of and I don't know how purposeful or not it was, but I thought one of the more interesting things that Pete did last week, I think it was on Monday or Wednesday, is sort of remind everybody that, hey, he was a Saban assistant for a long time. Like he ran that defense for quite a minute. It's almost like he doesn't get the same pull that so many other people have in that base and in that tree. And he kind of stopped for a minute because he had a question in one of the press conferences. Said, "Hey, you're a defensive guy. How do you go about finding your offensive guys, and how do you go about hiring things?" And like it made no sense because obviously people know people, and you don't have to coach that side of the ball to hire people. But he goes, "Hey, a lot of people do walk through Alabama's building in 5.5 years. Like either I know somebody or they're going to know somebody that's going to be able to figure this thing out. It was like a real subtle but also very direct reminder that, hey, it's not my first rodeo around this joint, guys.
Yeah. So when I was there, it was Lane. We had and we had Lane when I left. It was Billy Napier on offense. Lane, Billy Napier, Mario Cristobal, and Bobby Williams and Burton Burns. We had a guy named Charlie Weiss who was off the field. Was a GA. We also had a guy named Alex Mortensen who just got named the head coach at UAB. Was also off the field. When they left, we had the guy. When they left, everybody left. Kind of everybody that staff kind of Kirby goes to George. And they reloaded with like Jeremy Pruitt and Mel Tucker and Sark and Mike Loxley. I mean, just it's. And by the way, Pete's the defense coordinator the whole time, right? So it's like, so or he was secondary, then defense coordinator. So I mean, yeah, he was there that long. It's every year rotates guys and people.
Pete also talked about, and he used Eccles and Cam Franklin as good examples of this. Talked about the system he sort of learned at Alabama. Then year one, you're getting acclimated. Year two, you're understanding much more depth about your position, the group, and in your unit. And then in year three, you're trying to learn the other side of the ball for tendencies and things that get you ready for the NFL and sort of the progression in that way. And it at least seems like at certain positions, and I've got some decent sourcing on this, they're going to try to move back to more high school recruiting. That it's probably gotten a little out of balance in some ways with the portal and the way they want to do things. If everything is optimal, how possible in your mind is that idea in 2025, 2026 for Ole Miss?
Well, you're kind of playing with the rev share, because it's coming into play. There are some people that are being obnoxious in the portal right now because they front loaded like the whole roster for like their whole career. So there's some obnoxious things going on with rev share, but naturally recruiting high school players is going to be cheaper than doing the portal. And then you pay to retain the ones that are good. You can get in some situations. I think you're seeing Florida go through it. I think you're seeing or going to see Auburn go through it. When you have really good young talent and a bunch of it, it's almost like recruiting really well is going to punish you later on sometimes because
Mm-hmm.
you can't afford to retain it all. You're always going to be outbid, and so now it's easier to keep them if you got them, and it's easier, because there is some players, and usually good players are represented by people that try to explain to them, hopefully that they can see the forest even though the trees are in the way, and see that they're getting developed. But there is a catch-22 there, and there is it hasn't been done perfect. You look at what Georgia's doing. Those guys are staying at Georgia for a little bit less money, and so you got to get to that point to where you can show that you're going to develop and win consistently. And I think guys stay. I think when um, some guys, if you recruit the wrong guys, and that's part of it. It's not just how good they are. You got to recruit the right mentality of player as well. That's, to me, recruiting the right mentality of a player right now is as important as what his tape looks like. It's never been as important as it is right now.
And you mean that on simply being mature and handling your business and what you're looking for and understanding bigger picture and everything is involved with that. It's about
Well,
everything.
the one big thing that I think a lot of teams are missing is, we're human beings. 90% of the people on this planet are motivated by money. It's just what it is. Um, if money is what motivates you, what are you going to do once you get it? I mean, you have to be, and he's right. He said it. He's been saying it the whole time. He probably meant it by some different things, but you can definitely apply it here. Is you cannot be, if you're going to be a successful football player, because it takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of discipline. It's a physical, mental, tough game, the whole deal. You can never be motivated. Coach Saban always say this: you can't be motivated by external factors. You got to be an internally motivated person, because what happens when you get it? And that was always the fight. it's why it's easy to get to the top. It's harder to stay there, right? And I think that's one thing that he did such a good job of was finding those kind of people, and that's how you stay on top for a long time. Shocker, Kirby's doing it too. Shocker, Signetti's doing it right now. So it's those things. It's one thing to get there. It's another thing to stay there. And you can't get fat cat syndrome.
So you said a second ago, and you said you have to get to some semblance of where Georgia is, where again, guys taking less money, they trust the process, trust the program. For years, the Alabama players were motivated by getting to the NFL, and some waited their turn, including really high-profile guys, sometimes sitting behind other guys. That running back group, where every year it seemed like you just put the next man up. Back in the heyday of the Saban era, how do you when you say you got to get to that point, is that winning? Is that proof of concept getting guys to the NFL? What do you even necessarily mean by that? How do you get to some semblance of that point?
Development, winning and
Okay.
development, right? And it's again, it's about getting the right guys, man. I mean, you find there's so many like it's just so bad right now, man. I mean, it's like I'll say it, I don't care. I'm not going to say the kid's name, but I was helping somebody out this week, or hell, I think it was this week. I can't remember if it was this week or last week. Well, the quarterback that's going to go in the portal, and he's a G5 quarterback. Okay, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching this guy, and I'm like, this guy, he can't play. He's not good enough to start in the SEC. I said, there may be some power fours out there that really need a quarterback that may bring him in to try to start, but he's not like a guy. You know what I mean? He's a solid player. And I'm like, okay. I said I would probably say the floor on this guy's 550, 650, and maybe somebody will overpay. Well, he gets. I mean, after all the power fours are exhausted, he's got two teams interested. Okay, two teams interested, and one is really interested, and one's like, I don't know yet. Well, team one offers this kid $1.1 million. And the guy said, what do you think? I said, he needs to go sign that thing in blood. I mean, needs to sign it in blood. So he presents the offer to the kid, and the mom goes, I'm going to say the school, about to say the school. The mom goes, it's school this. The Big 12 school. And he's like, oh, I'm talking about a Big 12 school that won like a lot of games. And she was like downgrading the school. I'm like, you're at a group of five school right now. Like, they're gonna give, and the kid's making like he's getting like a freaking $900,000 raise, and the mom's complaining about the school. So they slow play the school. School says kick rocks. They moved on. So now he's got one option, Chase. He's got one option. The school strikes out on everybody. They go all in on this kid. They offer him $1.7 million. $1.7 million. Agent's all fired up, thinks he's done the greatest job ever. Gets a call with everybody on the same call. Says, this school's offering you 1.7 million. Shit you not, dad goes, why can't we get 1.8? Chase, he's making $250,000 at a G5 school. That's what you're dealing with. Dad starts cussing the agent out. That's what you're dealing with. So when you see me going like that, that's why. That's what you're dealing with. So it's really important that you get the right guys.
It's incredible. Not surprising in the least, but incredible nonetheless. Oregon handling James Madison pretty easily right now. Now 26-3, the Ducks over the Dukes. So the two Group of Five programs struggling in their first round playoff games here as Oregon well on its way to headed to Miami, yeah, Miami to face Texas Tech next because they weren't going to send Texas Tech to Dallas. That was not what they were going to do. So Ohio State, Miami is going to be in Dallas. We've got Alabama, Indiana in Pasadena, Ole Miss in Georgia, New Orleans, and then it will be Oregon and Texas Tech there in in Miami next week for quarterfinals. What'd you take on Miami A&M today? What'd you think?
What a great game, huh? I mean, I know people want to see 77-76, but that's how I like them. That was a physical football game. Kind of, was all about first down and was all about first down, was all about field position and turnovers. And, I thought Miami was going to let it slip away. Miami got the pick and they got the long punt return. They got like no points out of it. The wind was blowing 87 miles an hour. The poor field goal kicker had no chance. He started it left upright, missed it right, started it a little further left, missed it right, started it. Then the wind died down, started it right at the upright, and hit the upright. I mean, it's just he couldn't. He was having a rough day. But I just thought Miami ended up leaning on him a little bit. Started getting and Miami. You could tell Miami was leaning on them and started getting some explosive runs. And I knew a touchdown would probably end that game, and it did. And then Miami went freaking damn near prevent, prevent damn near prevents you from winning. Let them get down there really, and then just a really bad ball placement for Marcel Reed on that route versus the coverage because they had nothing holding the backside safety. So you got to go high and away on that one, and he left that one low and inside. So that needs your guy catches it or it goes out of the back of the end zone on that one. Just bad ball placement at the end of the day, and somebody made a play. But I thought it was a great game. Kind of worked. I didn't think it was going to be that low scoring. I think the wind had a lot to do with that. It was very difficult to throw the football downfield. So I actually thought the wind blowing may end up helping Texas A&M out a little bit because they don't really do that a whole lot. They're more RPO and screen heavy where, Miami likes to take their shots, and they had a couple and just threw them, overthrew them and missed some guys. But, I picked Miami to win. So that was a good one for me. Good little lick today.
Again, they got the Buckeyes now in the quarterfinal. They'll face Ohio State. They're in Texas for the next one. Did you give up on Bama down 17-0 last night?
I did not because I bet on them. I was riding. It was getting hairy there for a minute, though. It was getting hairy. I saw I wish we could do this every time. I'm a football nerd, you know that. But you know how they got the Skycast. So I got on my TV, so I had the regular deal, and then I had Skycast like behind a half a play, so I could watch the wide, then watch the tight.
Oh, you were in business then. I mean,
I was in business.
that was cooking.
I was in business. We pick on Alabama's offensive line about this running game. I don't know how much of it is the freaking offense. I mean, I know some of it's the offensive line. I'm not saying they're freaking the Joe Moore Award winners or anything, but they're Ray Charles has better vision and instincts as a runner than Alabama's running backs. I mean, they're missing cuts and block. I mean, they're missing everything. I mean, there's room to run. There's room to run. Like, it's not completely embarrassing. Now, the 4-minute drill at the end of the game was embarrassing, but besides that, it's not completely embarrassing. You know what I mean? They had their opportunities. They just don't hit the right damn hole, man. It's bad. That happened a lot last night. So they still got the same problem. You know what I mean? Like, can't run the football. Gotta get put it on Ty Simpson's shoulders. But I thought defensively after at the beginning of the game, Oklahoma drove the field and scored. But after that, they had field position. They had the ball on the plus side of the field, twice, and then had it at the 45 one time. But after that, Kane did a really good job adjusting, started going more man coverage, started going a little bit more man instead of zone. if you really watched Oklahoma, all their explosive pass plays were against zone. So he started bringing a little bit more pressure. He hasn't pressured a lot at all this year. He's been sitting back and playing vision coverage um and and just beating you. And I actually saw the stat up there. They're like one of the lowest blitzing teams in the league, if not the. But he started bringing pressure and playing a little more man coverage, and when he figured out that Oklahoma couldn't run the football on him, and they popped him with a couple +1 runs, but besides that, they really didn't do anything.
Yeah, we're going to avoid again. We'll follow Siskiy's rule, avoiding Georgia most of the time. Ole Miss is open as a 6.5 point underdog next week or on January 1st in New Orleans. 6.5 on that. The other two games, though, that we can talk about: Alabama, Indiana. Indiana -7.5 against the Tide is the open over under 48.5, and then Miami and Ohio State 9.5. The Buckeyes against the Hurricanes. Either Alabama, Indiana, or Miami, Ohio State. Is there one of those that sticks out? Is that about where you thought they would be? Anything odd with those lines?
I thought they're both high.
Yeah, 7.5 and 9.5. Indiana and Ohio State, respectively.
I'll take the Tide in the 7.5. I mean,
That's
dude,
the one
that's
I
a lot of
like.
points.
That's the one I like. I don't know what to think on
Oh,
Ohio on the other one. I'm kind of out on that.
I mean, I think it could be a rock fight again, like Indiana and Ohio State. I mean, because look, if Miami's healthy on the back end, Miami can cover your ass now. I mean, they they did it today against some really good receivers. Now, J.J. Smith in a whole nother planet, but the other guys can play. That's interesting.
Joey
That
Levitt,
that
thanks
that
for the. Go ahead, finish up. That's
I think
interesting.
that's an interesting line.
Joey, thanks for the Venmo. Appreciate you. He says, "Where is the live MPW Digital going to be?" I don't know. We're working on that. I'm gonna start messing around with it a little bit. Try to do something there from New Orleans again. Sugar Bowl coverage. Just that's the one thing. So got the team is going down on the 29th. It is it's an abbreviated bowl schedule compared to what you guys are used to before the playoff era. Ole Miss and Georgia will both arrive on the 29th. The only media coverage on the 29th is interviews with a couple players on the tarmac when the plane lands. They do this B-roll video thing right there on the tarmac on the 29th. On the 30th, they do a media day that is quite extensive. I think I was told every assistant coach and 60 players are available for interviews. They'll be just at different tables all around. So all assistants and all players, or at least 60 players, available on that. And then that official put the helmet and the trophy in the middle. Head coach press conference will be on New Year's Eve that morning. So that's the way that the press situation is set up there in New Orleans before a Saturday night game. Wadette Williams left with a concussion, by the way, the other injury that happened over the course of the game. Ole Miss safety, who's played incredibly well this season. He has a concussion, so haven't heard an update on that as far as how bad or what that looks like as as time goes on there with that one. So we'll see. We got a little while. Unless it's something crazy, I wouldn't think that would keep him out of that game there on January 1st. I wouldn't think so. So you like the little? I know it's a playoff situation, Siski, but you like the little more of abbreviated deal of players down there and just go ahead and get to it instead of saying 6-7 days and all the hubbub that goes around those games.
Yeah, because it's so different, right? I mean, it's not you don't have you don't have a month to prep. You know what I mean? You got 10 days, and you got Christmas in the middle. You need to stay where you're at and get your work in. And be in your facilities. I think it makes a difference. But if you just played a game, excuse me, if you just played a game, I think it matters for. I bet Pat wants to do treatment in the facility, not in the ballroom. You know what I mean? Like I just think it. I think it helps to be at home. And I think that's wise. And then you just can't at the end of the day, I mean, if you're doing this stuff, because if you win, guess what? You got to do it again in the Fiesta Bowl, right? And so you can't do that every time. I mean, you imagine how like I mean, that's I know everybody's like, "Oh, that'd be fun." No, it really won't be. It's not everybody. Y'all are the ones having fun. There's nothing fun about being at a. I mean, like there is, the players don't want to go do the shit either. They just want to, they don't want to. They don't want to go to the freaking to luncheons and freaking listen to some guy they've never heard of speak. They're going to go down there to the Sugar Bowl and go sit in a luncheon and hear the stories about the Gray Ghost. In the 1936 Sugar Bowl with LSU. Is that LSU Tulane or LSU Ole Miss, whoever it was? I mean, they don't want to. They don't. I mean, they just want to freaking get on their phones and get in a room and go practice. So it's not as the fans have fun, but the players, it's not a vacation anymore. Especially games like that, it's a vacation.
You got to go have like a pie eating contest or something where they film it and put it
Yeah,
all out on social and that kind of stuff.
yeah. We didn't do all that stuff. So not with the big boss man. So we were locked in.
Did y'all decline those as much as you could?
I don't remember. So I know they sent the like some of the player development guys. They did some things, but like very literally, seriously, no joke, very few things. We were down there 9 days, and we we had an event at the Bonton for the coaches, and the only reason we did that was because Burton Burns' brother was on the Sugar Bowl committee. That was the only reason we did that one. Um, that was the only event both years that we went to in 9 days. And brother, like coach didn't play, man. They picked up like they come to your office, Chase. It's actually pretty cool. They'll come to your office on the morning of the 23rd is the last day of practice. When we went down there, and we would meet down there Christmas night. We had to bring them back at 9 o'clock Christmas night to fly down. But the video guys or whoever would come to your office and say, "Hey, what do you want to take?" And you'd be like, "What do you mean? What do you want to take?" I want to take my computer, my printer, or whatever. And when you show up down there, they had a big ballroom of nothing but cubicles, and they put your office in your cubicle, like recreated your office, and we worked like normal work day, just in the ballrooms, normal work day. I mean, literally the same work day we had in Tuscaloosa. Staff meeting at 7:30, meet, get ready for practice, go to practice, come back, watch practice film, meet, watch film, shoot, go to, and at 11:30 midnight, I'd walk upstairs. Everybody be asleep. I'd be gone before they woke up. So that's what we did for 9 days.
Pete Golding declined comment, I guess, on Caleb Odom's injury. I don't know. He went to the tent and then off the field there at some point during the game, but he did not give an update when I asked about Caleb Odom. So I don't know what that means. Got nothing. I don't know. He seemed to be pretty transparent with everybody else to some degree, but
See him get hurt.
yeah, he went off right around the time that the Chambliss Lacey stuff happened too. It was all kind of right there in a spurt when that was going off. So I guess late second quarter, mid second quarter, somewhere in there. If I have that right. From receiving standpoint, Chambliss and Simmons together did hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different receivers. Today, Deuce Alexander leads Ole Miss 7 catches, 87 yards, Stribling 5 for 79 and a touchdown. He's had quite a productive couple games in a row. Daquan Wright 4 for 64, but those felt pretty important, including there on those scripts. Got one big one there coming out of both halves. The first time Ole Miss got the ball in both halves for Daquan. Diggs, Harrison Wallace, Odom 2 catches apiece. Caden Lee 2 catches, including a fourth down grab when the game was still somewhat in play there when Pete went for it and Caden snatched that one down the left sideline there on fourth down. That was a pretty good play. Let's see who else was on there. Devin Price, Lacey gets a catch, and then Isaiah Harcher as well. Were you reacting to TV or something I said?
Oh no, Oregon scored. I got the over.
What's your over?
Let me look. It's 40 something. I like my
34 to
odds.
3 now.
Well, 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, there's 37 points. So I like it getting to 40 something. I was
Packers
very
and
upset.
Bears are 0-0 still at this point.
I do have a complaint. I got another complaint too.
All right.
I don't like taking the knee at the 15-yard line when I got the over. I need one more score.
Pete's not
Well,
focused on that enough. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, Pete's got to be aware of the over. I mean, I don't know what we're doing.
It was his
I
first
don't know.
day, Tyler. First game.
We'll forgive him. We'll forgive
First
him.
one. First one.
Over 45.5.
Oh,
Feel pretty.
you're golden.
Feel pretty good right now.
You're fine. Golden. Yeah, that's no issue at all. You're good. Did you think James Madison was going to make this any bit of a game?
I thought they would score some, like 20. I didn't know if at 21.5. I hate that number, man, because that's got backdoor cover all over it, but not necessarily in this game. They had a couple good drives to start the game. They kicked a field goal, missed a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking they would get to 20.
Coincidence, Siski, or a little more to it that Winston Watkins played about 10 snaps and had no targets tonight? Just saying.
I didn't even
The,
notice that.
the player that is probably the most linked, at least in the rumor mill, to Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I really didn't. This first it's ever crossed my mind. I don't know.
He played 5 snaps in the first half, and he did not play much after that. I actually think he had a target. I think he had a target, but no catch.
All right, serious question because I don't know who took the snaps that he's been taking.
He just wasn't.
Because they were in 11 personnel.
Well, he'd been taking a lot of Caden Lee snaps for a lot of weeks, and Caden didn't come off the field much at all.
Gotcha.
Because they've been playing Wallace all the time and Stribling pretty much all the time, and then they had been using Caden less when he was playing a lot more in recent weeks.
I got a serious question. Do you have the snap counts in front of you, or is that something that comes later?
I probably don't have them yet. Let me look and make sure, but I doubt those are out yet. That usually takes a minute for them to.
And I don't know this because I was there live, so I wasn't paying attention. I would be interested to know something just to look at for maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing. I would be interested to know how many receivers played compared to normal.
Okay, yeah, I do not have snap counts yet. I mean, I have the targets, but I don't have the snap counts.
But they couldn't tackle 11 and 2, man. They were explosive on the outside, and they got them. That was one of the they wasn't free access throws. I thought they did. I thought the receivers, particularly the outside receivers, did a really good job of coming back to the ball in quick game and cutting that space down because they were triggering. They were trying to pick him off, but and then I thought on defensively, I did notice this. I thought Ole Miss's DBs did a really good job on quick and intermediate game of cutting the route off and forcing bad throws. I thought they did a good job with that all night. I thought they played the routes. I thought they were running some routes for them.
Somebody asked, Deuce Alexander had 8 targets, so he had 7 catches out of 8 targets tonight. That's where Deuce was. He looked good.
That one, I think, was just well defended. It was a good ball and everything. I think it was one that was late in the game in the third quarter. Was one off his back, and it was defended. It was good. It was good job by the defense and a good ball by Trinidad.
I thought Diggs had a fairly productive day today in Lacey's stead.
He didn't have much choice.
Yeah. Well, just saying.
Yeah. You better.
What'd you do in this NFL game tonight?
I got the Packers -1. I bet them. I got them plus, but I think when Neil and I bet, I think I took them minus. I had to look and see. I think it flipped. I'll look at it.
Where's y'all's competition sitting right now?
I'm getting my throat kicked in.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm not. And it's not that I'm even doing bad. He's up 15 units.
So if that holds, what are you going to have to do?
I'll go some freaking. Yeah, I had it -1.5. Some freaking haunted house that he sends me to in live stream.
But they
And
haven't
I told
picked it
him,
yet.
mm-mm. I'm sure it'll be somewhere where, like, there's freaking. I'll have to take a priest and holy water the whole damn nine.
How how bad are you like with those? I mean, like what level of fear or
60,
whatever are you?
60 out
Really?
of 10. Yeah, I don't play with that shit.
It's
It's
why? Why is
terrifying
it? Why is it that bad?
because I've had my own stuff. I don't play.
Really?
Yeah. Your boy don't play. Yeah, I got a picture of one on my phone.
A picture of what?
A ghost. I
Hold
went
on.
to the.
Oh, go ahead.
I went to the when I was at. I don't remember what year it was. I was at Alabama. I don't remember what year it was, but we went to Charleston. Went to the old Charleston jail, and you go on this tour, and the tour guy would say, hey, if you take pictures down this, some people see things, come up on your flash and stuff. Sure as the shit did. Yeah, I don't play. I've never told you in the ghost stories from my house
No,
here
no,
in Oxford
no, no. I don't know this.
about this time of year when I was living in my house when Knox was a baby. Knox, I just moved here, so this is like Christmas of 18 or Christmas of 19. I don't remember. But when I was still working at Ole Miss, um, Aaron was rocking Knox to sleep one night, and he was going, and she's like, Knox, what are you singing? He goes, I'm singing with them, mommy. Sing with them. She's like, what are you talking about? She goes, you don't hear them singing? And she's like, Knox, stop. And she goes, what are they singing? He goes, you don't hear them, mommy? Silent night. And she's like, Knox, stop. She goes, but they want us to sing with them. She's like, who? And he would point in the room. They're over there singing. And Aaron starts getting freaked out because Aaron legitly grew up in a haunted house. It's documented actually. And so Aaron gets freaked out a little bit. And she's like, stop. And she said, stop, and got mad. About 10 seconds later, her phone was across the room and immediately opened up to the music app and started playing Silent Night. That happened. And then another creepy one with him was, how like we would come home over like Thursday nights, our night we get to come home early with the kids. Like we get to come home after practice on Thursday night. And so it was Halloween week, okay? And so when I would come home Thursday night, we'd put the kids to bed or whatever, and we had outside of our bedroom, we had like a living area upstairs, and so we'd sit up there, because I haven't been home all week, we'd watch a movie or whatever and hang out. And she was putting Knox to bed, and Knox's room was probably about, I don't know, Chase, 15, 20 feet to my right, and like so all the bedrooms upstairs were like in a circle, and then there was like a living area upstairs. We had like a playroom and TV, and so we just hang out. And so I'm watching TV, waiting for her to get done putting him down, and she opens the door and throws like a Buzz Lightyear plane. Like this thing's like this big. She slings it out the bedroom like across my head, and it hits the wall. And I'm like, what in the hell have I done? Like I thought she was like throwing something at me. I'm like looking like, are you? I said it. I'm not gonna say what I said. I said, are you effing kidding me? Like, and so I was like, oh my gosh, she slams the door. So I start watching TV again. About 2 minutes later, we had a Mater truck, from Cars, like this big, like weighs 2 pounds. She opens the door and slings it and it goes flying across the room and hits the wall. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? She goes, I'll be there in a minute. And like 10 minutes later, she came out. I was like, you want to explain to me why you tried to hit me in the head with the plane and the Mater truck? Because I haven't. Well, I said, what in the hell have I done? And she said they were sitting there and Knox was talking again. She says, Mama, let me down. I want to go play with them. And she's like, no, Knox, it's time to go to bed. Mommy, let me down. They want me to keep playing with them. Mommy, let me down. They want me to keep playing with them. And she said no. And the first time she said no, that plane, you had to, there was a switch, a black switch on the bottom. You had to switch it. It turned on and started going across the table. We had a play table, started going across the table. And she freaking grabbed it, took out the batteries and threw it. Sat back down, started rocking them again, says, Mommy, they still want me to play. Mommy, they still want me to play. She says, we're not playing stop knocks. And then made her truck, same thing, switched the bottom, took off across the table, and was on, like the lights flashing and everything else. She took out the batteries and threw it out. Yeah, I don't play, dog. I've had the
Have you
bell ring.
have you
All
asked
that stuff.
Keith about any of this?
No, not this. It wasn't this house. You're mute.
No, I'm saying, yeah, okay. Like I was just checking. I got a little confused there for a second, so I was wondering.
All right,
You're
and
getting a little
then
help here in the chat, by the way. Wesley Crockett, thanks for super chat. Says Siski, I'm actually connected to a full time ghost hunter, so I'd love to help set this up, full production
oh,
crew and everything.
great! I'm excited.
I mean, I mean, I mean, this sounds like
I don't
hellacious
want to do
motivation
it.
to come back here.
I don't want to do it.
I mean,
Like,
you're only
well,
15 units down.
well, I'm not down 15 units. I'm down. I'm down a bunch. I'm down like
Well, but you're
9, I
down
think.
to him 15. Is my point.
No, he's plus 15. I think I'm like plus. I don't know. Some shit.
Oh, I thought you meant you were 15 behind.
No, I haven't done bad. We're both in their green. He's just plus 15 something.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
No, we got this week and like one more week.
Oh, y'all don't go all the way through everything?
We go through the end of the NFL regular season.
Oh, okay. You don't do the playoffs.
Yeah,
Because then,
we'll get the next 4 games. And that's it. We'll get the New Year's
unlike
games.
our competition where he starts picking horse racing and Canadian football and Pinewood Derby results and things like
Yeah.
that, it's just got to. Yes, games that he's already been played. This is actually a really good one. One year he put a game that had already happened and he missed it. It's true. He did. He put a Canadian Football League game in that had already been played and missed it.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Did you
Not
predict the?
not on
Did you
purpose, just completely missed.
did you pick the exact score of it when you put it in there?
I knew who had won. I don't remember what the situation was, but yes, I
I
was
feel
aware
this
at
game
that point.
will be like 51-43. What I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. No, yeah, I don't play, man. I don't. I mean, I've had a bunch of things. That's just a couple of them. I've had several things. We actually had somebody that we had 2 different people that had the gift that went out and validated it. There
Mr.
he is.
McCready, how are you?
Oh, hey, Chase, how are you? I'm good.
How we doing, sir? Merry Christmas to you, pal. We were, we
I'm
were
sorry,
just discussing. We were just discussing you putting me in the haunted house.
Um, I don't ever count any chickens before the chickens hatch.
Siski believes you have an insurmountable lead at this point.
There's no such thing as an insurmountable lead.
How did
He,
post game go, Neil?
Uh, I went to Tulane. Tyler Comas went to the Ole Miss. I got just posted a story with John Summerall, Greg Gasparotto, defensive coordinator, talking about how really Ole Miss's offense looked the same to them. Talked about the things that they prepared for, that it really was no difference. I mean, John had a funny line about, the only difference was when they played the first time, if you heard a whistle across the field, you knew that was Lane and he was changing the play on third down. But, otherwise it was the same problems that they presented the last time and pretty much the same results. But I think Tyler sent me a quote from Pete Golding that I suspect you guys have already talked about that is pretty revelatory about Pete's feelings, I think, on a lot of things. And then Joe Judge talked about, this was Charlie's offense all year, and that this was a big opportunity for him. Talked about how it was awkward when those guys came back, They'd gone to LSU. Truth is, he's LSU's offensive coordinator, and he's coming back here to finish a job, and he didn't know how he'd be received in the building. And then, I think, as Judge said, when the dust settled on that a little bit, and they got back to football, that football's football, and they got back to it and had to put a really good plan together tonight, and executed. 3 yards shy of 500 yards and 41 points, and it looked like the same offense that we've covered all year, honestly. I mean, Tyler might be able to dive into more nuances if there were, but for the most part, it was a balanced attack where Trinidad Chambliss was super accurate, and they have a lot of they throw a lot of different type of receivers at you, and they throw a lot of different type of routes at you, and they're a hard offense to defend, as the Tulane coaches talked about.
Just in general, and you and I will probably talk about this more tomorrow during our show. I know you focused on Pete with one of your content items. I don't know what all you put in your three things, but I guess just in general, his day and environment, just for the afternoon and through your eyes, what you sort of see today.
Yeah, I continue to. I don't want to come across as like this homer. I don't want to do that. It's his first game, but you would never have watched him today and thought this was his first game as a head coach. Just everything, just kind of the way he handled kind of everything. I wrote about this in my column a little bit. I mean, the one mistake he made was, I think he went looking for John early when he got on the field, and John was tied up with TV interviews, and he kept kind of hanging around. Then he finally was like, well, screw it. And he went down to be with his team. And about the time that he went down to be with his team, John started looking for Pete. And it took him, I think, 12 minutes is what I timed it, for them to sort of find each other on the field. That was Pete's only screw up of the day, if there was one. His team looked very prepared. They looked very focused. I thought they would. They did. I mean, he's coached in playoff games before, but being the head coach is different, and he looks very comfortable in the role so far, and not just today, but in general for the last 3 weeks. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow that he's been the head coach at Ole Miss, and really he's handled it pretty seamlessly so far, which is, whether it's fair or not to him, I don't know, but I don't think that's what we expected.
Were you back in there for any of Pete at all, or have you seen the exact quote?
No.
It looked like he said, "It looked like when you concussion on Wadet, shoulder on Lacey, Chambliss is fine," and then he just didn't answer on Caleb Odom. Is that the way I'm interpreting what I've read and seen?
Yeah, I wasn't in there. Comus has put up a story about Lacey, and I don't know whether, I haven't read it, so I don't know whether he referenced the other injuries or not in that story. But so I can't answer that. I don't know.
I said earlier tonight, and I meant this in a very positive way, they kind of just emptied their clip. I mean, you and I went to the road to the game together today, and it was this Chamber of Commerce situation from a weather standpoint. You mentioned during the game they even got the darkness at sort of the perfect time, as much as Ole Miss could, and not that they are less than anybody else, doesn't what I mean, but just in every way they could, they sort of put on a show today from an atmosphere standpoint. Crowd was there, what, an hour early? I mean, hell, you hear stuff all week about SeatGeek and thousands of tickets, this and that. Place is packed out with 45 to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was a record crowd. It was a historic day. You couldn't have drawn up a better environment from a weather and everything. I mean, I joked in my column that, I mean, at least for a day, God and or Mother Nature appeared to be Ole Miss fans. 65 degrees, and it kind of got a little chilly, but not cold tonight when the sun went down, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky the whole day, and Trace Atkins and the helicopters. I was corrected on the helicopters, Chase. You gave me the wrong information. I asked, and I'm kidding. It was 2 Blackhawks and 2 of the other. So
Apaches.
whatever.
Apache. So it was 2
Apaches.
Blackhawks and 2 Apaches. Okay.
Yes. So I was corrected.
Hashtag
There's always,
America.
hashtag America. There's always going to be someone to correct you when you make a mistake. It's fine. Yeah, everything. Just getting off to the start they did. It was like I wrote in my column, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to Lane at all. It's really the first game this all season though that it wasn't all about Kiffin, and it kind of was it was about a football team, and I think fans got to celebrate a football team. I mean, I can't speak from a fan perspective. I don't know, but what I've sensed is all season they couldn't really enjoy this team because they were always worried about what was going to happen with Lane. And was he going to Florida? Was he going to LSU? What was they all that just was constant. Even after a big win, it was they beat Oklahoma and it wouldn't go away. They beat Florida and his answers in the post game immediately became the story. And today that wasn't the case. Today they got to kind of do everything that they liked, that they wanted to do. They got to have a day game and a night game, and they got to do all the fireworks and the stuff, and there was nothing to damper it. I didn't get to see it because they don't let you on the field at the end of CFP games in media. So I was down in that Ole Miss halftime room where Tulane did their post game stuff, but you could hear the fans chanting Pete, 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 and it was there you got to celebrate something. Today felt just kind of like, hey, there was a lot of celebrating that they didn't get to do all year, and they sort of got to do it tonight.
What was the quote that you were referencing? I didn't hear that one. About Pete.
From see if I can pull it up in its entirety.
You didn't read that, did you, Chase? Was I ham sandwiched out?
I've got it. He says, I had zero. This is Pete Golding. I had zero concern with Charlie Weiss calling this game for this one reason. Charlie Weiss cannot afford not to call a hell of a game. All he's heard is Lane Kiffin's offense, Lane Kiffin's offense, Lane Kiffin's offense. So this is his one opportunity for other people to realize that Charlie Weiss calls the offense, something he's done all year and he did a great job of tonight. I had no concern of that because the last thing Charlie wants to do is come out here and lay an egg. Charlie does a great job and there's zero concern with him. He didn't get on that plane with any doubt that he'd be coaching in the game because that's who he is.
That is one hell of a quote.
That's one hell of a quote, boys and girls.
I see you, Pete.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's whoa. Okay, that's saying it without saying it. Or hell, no, do that. It's just saying it. Never mind.
Yeah. So, I mean, shit. I mean, that's not veiled.
Maybe we can get the
September
golden
19th. September 19th is going to be one hell of a day.
I mean, there's going to end up being at least 30 coaches swapping sides in this thing before it's over. Maybe more than that.
I mean,
we're 5 minutes away from setting up an octagon. You know what I mean? Well, let's go.
I mean, damn.
What do you want our Realtree word of the night to be today, Siski?
We're already at that point of the show. I got to think. Give me a few minutes. Maybe I got.
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead. You're fine.
I'm out of practice.
You're out of practice?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
How were the Tulane kids, Neil?
They were disappointed. I mean, they came here hoping to win a football game. But they were very complimentary of Ole Miss, and end of a season, end of a tenure with the coach that they all love, with the coach who lost his father the day before, and they were emotional. John got a little emotional talking about this team and his time at Tulane, and they were I mean, they're totally respectful and everything. I mean, they're a first class program, and John's, as Tyler knows better than I do, John's an amazing guy. He's a great guy, and I kind of hate that he's going to Florida because I enjoyed my few weeks of hating Florida. It was kind of fun, and I won't be able to hate Florida anymore because I will cheer for John to do well. It's just a super guy, just a super guy, and he did a phenomenal job at Tulane, and to finish his time at Tulane playing in a college football playoff game speaks volumes of the job that he did there, and he'll do a great job at Florida. I mean, you guys know this. I mean, he's a friend, and I'm a fan, and of him, and I just think he was great. I asked him about whether the offense looked different, and he gave me, as you would expect, a really detailed answer, and he was super. He got some questions about how he'll be remembered at Tulane, and it was a place that obviously means a lot to him, and his time there meant a lot to him. And he talked about how he went into the locker room after the game, and he told him that it's never okay to lose, that losing's never okay, and that if you get around people who tell you it's okay to lose, that you should get away from them. And but then he also told them that he would always be there for them, that every one of them, whether it was a reference for a job or getting married or having children or trouble or whatever, that he'd be there. He was always a phone call away. And I think with some coaches, that's probably lip service. And with him, it's absolutely not.
He means it.
Not to change the subject too much, Neil, but did you check your email? Crisis averted. Sugar Bowl hotel rooms were confirmed.
I
Just saying.
know. I sent a response back, and I said, "Hey, listen, thank you for being tolerant of my co-host. I mean, he was tired, maybe he'd had a little too much Coors. I don't know what happened that morning.
Do you want to do some bowl media rankings now, or you want to wait? What do you want to do?
I mean, I think we should wait until we're good and checked in and maybe done.
Okay.
Just let's yeah. Whew.
I mean, we do have some
averted.
history here,
I
Neil.
thought we were going to be
It's here.
I thought we'd be in Pass Christian or something at the La Quinta.
Oh God.
They're gonna put you down on. They're gonna put you down on Bill Street when those lights go out.
Yeah.
Those San Francisco flags start flying down there. That's where they're gonna put you guys up. Your doorman's gonna have a red ball in his mouth.
God.
We were so close. We had made it so close. Just, I mean, right there to the end, so close. And yet, here we are.
Back carrying your bags up the room's gonna have a GIMP mask on.
Do you have some Diet Miller at the game, Siski, or did you just start with that?
I haven't had one all day.
Have you not?
Not one.
Oh.
How about that?
Are you sick?
No. Just been doing the dad thing today,
Okay.
Being present.
But you're like home watching ball now.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna have to go downstairs to do the Christmas thing.
I'll write about it. I'll write about it in the morning because I'm gonna get up and do 10 thoughts early, and this will be one of my main thoughts. But to give you just an idea about what a good person Sumrall is, I asked him about Pete. What was, because John coached his first game as a head coach here on this field with Troy, and I was like, Pete obviously coached his first game as a head coach, different set of circumstances, but what did you think? And he, coaching fraternity's a tight one sometimes, and I think those guys they've kind of crisscrossed their whole careers, and he was very complimentary of Pete. Thinks Pete's going to do a really good job here, and was very complimentary of Ole Miss, of Keith and Walker Jones, and all the people. He said what what you and I've said for a while, which is what you tried to tell people. It was funny. I'm kind of rambling a little. Forgive me. I'm almost done. We talked about this kind of all the last couple of months when some of the national people would be like, what's Ole Miss going to do if Lane leaves? And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I mean, will they just kind of like shut it down? And that's not really what they said, but that's kind of what they almost implied. And it's like, no, man. I mean, look, Lane's a damn good offensive football coach. Lane's a damn good football coach. He won 50 games in 5 years. You can't take that away, nor should you try. But there was more to it than just Lane. I mean, that's no knock on Lane, by the way. I mean, you couldn't do it by yourself. It takes more than that. I mean, if our friend Mr. Siskey here and some of his colleagues had that level of support when they were at Ole Miss, hell, they might still be on the sidelines tonight. You know what I mean? I mean, it took a lot more than that. It took an AD who's all in. It took a chancellor who's all in. It took a collective that's all in, that is organized. It took a fan base that bought in. There was a lot more to it than just Lane. Lane certainly deserves a lot of the credit, but there's a lot more to it than that. And that's what John was saying as well, was that one thing that, he knew was that, and you could tell tonight, was that this place was I think his words were pulling in the same direction. I don't remember the exact quote. I'll find it and I'll write about it in the morning. But he's right. I mean, you look at tonight and you compare it to like 2019, 2018, just where the program was, where the administration was, Juggle Boy. All of that stuff. I mean, it's a far cry from where it is today.
Mr. Vitter making an appearance. Yeah, like that. We were texting. You were texting with Andy yesterday about something else. We didn't ask him for an updated opinion on Jeffrey while we were doing it.
I did not ask. I did not ask AK about Vitter.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I would leave it in a good mood where we were. We were sharing some laughs, and so I thought there's no point in. I didn't think about Vitter yesterday. Had I would have said something to Andy and maybe gotten some creative profanity.
by the way, I was told that what Golding said about Caleb Odom is he simply had not talked to the docs for the latest updates. He was not avoiding the question. It was more of just he did not know anything at that moment. He said so.
Well, that was in the first. That was in the first half, right?
Siskey, I'm repeating what was said. I don't know. I mean,
because I remember him, because you were saying, it was around the Lacey stuff.
Yeah.
I remember him catching a pass in the second half. He caught an out route he caught an out route on the Ole Miss sideline about the plus 40, plus 45.
Maybe he came back and left again. I don't know. Got nothing.
Okay.
Siskey did point out, if you missed the first part of the show, that bruised shoulders typically don't require cuffs. So there is that with Kewan Lacey. We see where things are moving.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, that thing looked to be kind of hanging a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be all right.
It did.
Put the little black cuff on. Go see Doc and ask him how his New Year's was before not before you go to pregame, but after pregame, but like between that little 20-minute window, and you go see Doc, and you're like, hey Doc, hey, let me have one of those little white things, and put one where it hurts and put one in the butt, dog. No diddy, and that's what you do. And you go see Doc again at halftime. You put one in the butt, put one where it hurts. Just go out there and do your thing. Now it hurts like hell after the game. Now you'll be feeling really nice that night. But
So what you're saying is the answer is always. The answer is to always put one where it hurts and to put one in the butt. That's the answer to everything. Pretty much.
That's only at the hotel y'all are staying at. They're going to have Chase.
I think we're golden. No. I think we're golden. No issue.
I saved it. I sent an email and I said, please, dear Sugar Bowl, please forgive my co-host. He
Hey,
knows not what he does. Please,
Chase is going to
just
open up that.
this one time.
Chase is going to open up that room. There's going to be a big heart-shaped tub in the middle. There's going to be a swing with chains on it hanging from the ceiling, and there's going to be like that one chair just sitting right there in the corner. That one chair sitting right there in the corner.
Oh, hey, Siski, you need to hear this. I mean, I apologize to the guy we're calling out. If you're in the stream, we love you, but Neil fell over laughing in the press box today during the game.
Oh my
So you're gonna
gosh.
love this. They had a picture of the young lady in the at the Miami game, the one that's a bit of an adult film
A Bella
person.
Danger.
Yeah, and
Okay, so that
I'm
hold on,
yeah.
real quick, Chase. So Tyler, context clue number one is her name is Abella Danger. Context clue number one.
So they
So
show her on
Continue on.
TV.
yeah, she was showed on the broadcast or whatever, showed on TV. So her picture is up on the message board from the game, like just a screenshot or whatever. And somebody goes, "So who is she?" And somebody else follows and goes, "Oh, lawyer, nurse, stepsister, whatever, whatever." So then multiple people responding in real time in on the joke, and then this one poster, and again, I love you to death, whoever you are, appreciate you being there. Goes, hold on, who's stepsister?
Stepsister. I just couldn't control it. I laughed. I cried, man. I cried. It was so funny. Oh God.
That's
Like
great.
there's so many context clues and you just missed them all. Oh. Nurse, lawyer, stepsister. Her last name is Danger. There's a picture of her scantily clad at the Miami game. Put it together. Who's stepsister? Oh man, I couldn't focus. Brett Martell with the Associated Press was sitting next to me, and I think he thought something had gone terribly, terribly wrong. So I had to walk him through it. Oh,
Oh,
Oh, somebody asked that earlier. National media. It was Chris Lowe, Pat Forty, Dan Wolken, John Talty, Trey Wallace. I'm probably forgetting people, but that was off the top of my head.
a couple people from the Athletic, Antonio Morales, and the female reporter. I can't think of her name. Did you say 40? 40 was here.
Yeah, Forty, Wolken, Trey Wallace, Talty, Lowe.
Mark Schleybaugh. Big time. I mean, look for Ole Miss. I mean, today couldn't have gone better. And by the way, I'm gonna die on this hill when people go night game, and I understand why fans want night games. I get it. But you want to talk about when your stadium looks the best? When this place looks its best is 2:30 in the afternoon. It just does, especially later in the fall. 2:30 in the afternoon. This
It
place
is.
looks it looks bigger than it is at 2:30 because it's and at night it gets so dark in here. Like right now it's 8:30. If they played a 7-something game, they'd be like second quarter, and it's dark.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
did not.
it's lit enough to play, but it doesn't look as picturesque as it does in the daytime, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I did not speak. I did not talk to Forty or Woken. I talked to Talty for a minute, Antonio for a little bit. Spoke to Chris a couple times, but that was about my mingling from a national media perspective. So, but yeah, a
I
lot of people.
mean,
Good day.
yeah, a lot of people. You'll get a lot of
Oh yeah,
publicity out of
Jeff
today.
Duncan was there covering Tulane.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff was here. I talked to Jeff at the Tulane press conference. Very nice. Your
So
guy.
all
I
in.
told him you said. I told him you said hello. And that
Hey, he loves the Saints, Neil. He loves the
he
Saints.
does. He does.
He, he,
Saints
he,
gonna beat
he,
that.
he
Saints will get that 14th pick on the pace they're on.
God, I swear to God, Siski, it's driving me insane. It's driving me, and I know so many Saints fans goes, "Yes, we're winning." I'm like, "You're an idiot." No, I can't. I can't right now.
Well, in your
Um,
defense, it wouldn't matter. It's not. I mean, who are you going to draft? What quarterback you taking?
I know. I get it. So no, I don't think Neil and Wilkins spoke, or they. I don't know. Did you talk to Dan?
We spoke briefly, but nothing of significance.
We're all
We
olive branching
exchanged.
now, though, so it's fine.
Yeah, we exchanged pleasantries. I did not exchange them with Pat. I don't think he would speak to me if his life
I don't.
depended on it.
I don't think he likes us. I don't think. I don't
No,
think. I
I think
don't,
it's safe to say that. I think it's safe to say that if we were on fire and he really needed to urinate, that he would not help us.
yes.
But
Oh.
but but would a Bella Danger help you though? Would,
Oh.
would she pee on you if you were on fire?
Yeah, I mean probably, but I have no interest in going there whatsoever.
There it is, Chase. Now you're going to go. Now you're going
Okay.
into the hotel room and there's latex sheets on the bed.
Sith Lord has a different take on it. Only a finite number of Saints seasons I'll be able to see in my life, so I have to root for them to win.
It's not true.
You get a certain number of games, I guess. You just
That's not true. You want them to lose so that you can maximize your chances in a future year because they're not winning this year.
all right, Siski. It's been a few minutes. What do you got? What's our word?
Oh, no doubt, danger,
Danger. Okay, just straight danger. So her
danger.
actual name or danger?
Let's go full
A
name.
danger with the capital D.
Yes, danger with a
Danger with the
capital D.
capital
So
D.
just danger, not the
Yes,
just
Yes.
danger.
just
Just
danger.
danger.
I
Otherwise,
mean,
people are going to Google and it might go down the wrong road.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look at you, Neil, looking out for everybody. You're going. There's going to be
I'm
People
here to
helping
help.
hey,
people right there.
there's going to be some poor person that's going to have a state job and they're going to go to work on Monday right before Christmas and they're going to be on their state computer
We're going to get
and they're going,
somebody
how do I
canned.
how do I spell that? And they're
Somebody's
going to
getting
go,
canned.
and then all of a sudden it's going to go whoop
All right.
whoop
So
whoop.
whole word in caps or just the D?
No, just capital
Just
D,
capital D
danger.
danger.
All right. Capital D danger. Realtree word of the week. Uh,
Big D danger.
yes. Big D danger. Send me an email.
Who's
Chase.parham at
stepsisters?
gmail.com. Do not send me DMs on Rebels 24/7. You will not be included when you do that. I hate it. So please
It's
just
the
send
worst.
emails. We'll do it there. Send the word. We'll pick a winner. We'll have a giveaway, and we will move on from there. Again, we'll have live coverage from New Orleans, obviously, starting on 29th, I guess, something like that. And again, Neil and I will have a podcast tomorrow around 3 o'clock. I think is what we're looking at, somewhere around there tomorrow. Um, and then we're going to take a few days. So we're doing that final one, and then for Christmas break, we'll go in that mode. Yeah, incognito mode, people. If you try to go into any of that as time goes, so it's is what it is. Um, Tyler Jordan jumping in our thread today. Realtree, family, friends in danger. Yes, see, he's in it. He gets it right there. Appreciate Tyler
I
as
hear she
always.
got, I hear she got an Oscar.
She has at least 2 or 3 Oscars, and hey, and some Tonys. She's won Tonys as well.
What about an Emmy?
I don't doubt it.
Hey, you
Probably.
never know.
Oh boy, I think with her, you probably do know.
She probably
Yes.
started it with an Emmy. That's probably what. That's probably what
Yeah.
started with an
Yeah.
Emmy that got her to a Tony. Now she's dealing with an Oscar.
Sometimes all at the same time.
Again, so close, and then
Who's
so
who's
close,
stepsister?
so so close.
Oh, I hurt. My stomach hurts from laughing. I laughed so hard. Tyler, I laughed the whole second quarter, man. I couldn't stop. I mean, I'm such a child, and I laughed the whole quarter.
Neil, if you like one, we do have Coors. Jeffrey's popping bottles over here. We got all sorts of stuff going on. So we have Kirkland Chateau. A what? He said it's 93-point wine here in front of us. So yeah,
Oh, how about that?
yeah, the good stuff. That's what we have going on. Okay.
I think she's had that bottle too.
Yeah. Oh Lord. All right. Any final thoughts there, gentlemen? I don't know.
No,
I'm
I think we
losing my
should.
mind.
I think we've covered it.
Hit the button.
Hit the button. Yeah. We don't have a cough button to go back 10 seconds like radio sometimes. So
But in all seriousness, congratulations to all the Ole Miss fans. You guys deserve this. I mean, your team's 12-1. You're in a national quarterfinal. You're one of 8 teams that will get a chance to play for the national championship. You get to play the absolute standard bearer in the SEC with the chance to go to the Final Four. I mean, that's heady stuff.
Ole Miss 41, Tulane 10. Really did. It looked very similar to the first time these two teams met back in
It was
September.
this.
It was
It was the
almost
same.
identical. Same
It
game.
was the
Yeah.
same game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Tulane had a couple of early opportunities to at least make it a game, just like in September. They had the turnover. They had the turnover on downs, and that's where it went from there. So you said you have Christmas stuff tonight, Siski?
No,
Is that right?
I gotta work. I gotta do some work.
Oh, okay. Business never sleeps there with Tyler. Again, we'll have some fun. We'll turn some NFL games on tomorrow. We'll go around 3 o'clock for an edition of Blue Sky Live, MPW Digital Extra, or whatever it is that we call this thing tomorrow, and then we'll take a little time as well. But hey, it's on to New Orleans. We'll have more shows from the Big Easy starting on December 29th. Really appreciate all you guys. Huge crowd tonight, all season. You make this thing work, make it work for us. So thanks to all of you. Send Venmos, Super Chats, and just all of our listeners and commenters and readers. Tons of coverage up at Rebels 24/7, so check that out. And then one more time, cannot thank Realtree enough for their contributions. Tyler, Bill, love those guys to death, their entire family. So buy the Realtree stuff. Go to Realtree.com. They got recipes. They got a chili recipe that I'm always using. Got stuff there to take care of you in a lot of different ways there with the Realtree. So appreciate those guys again. Realtree.com. And we will talk to you again tomorrow. Celebrate, take care, enjoy the Rebels win, and we are all on to New Orleans. Take care.